Hi, my name is Jennifer and I'm a Google CS First Program Manager. Today I'm going to take you through the quick and easy steps to start a club on CS First. Many times when I talk to teachers, parents, and community volunteers, they love the resources we have on the CS First site, but they sometimes still find it a little difficult or confusing navigating to start a club. So I want to take you through those steps today. It'll take about 15 minutes, and along the way, we'll cover things like creating an account, looking at a dashboard, creating the club, the schedule, the theme, and much more. So, let's get started and let's bring CS First to your community or school today.
The first thing we're going to do is head to csfirst.com. And when you get there, you're going to see a nice landing page. We have all sorts of ways you can begin to interact. If you're not sure of what you want to do first, you can check out these themes, explore a little bit more, look at the volunteer options. But for us, we're pretty sure we know we want to start a club when we landed here. So we jump right in. Let's see, minimum requirements. Yes. Internet, yes, and of course access to students. So here we go. Now then, I'm going to actually end up using an account I've already set up, but if you wanted to add an account, you would go right here, click create account. And I wanted to point this out here. A lot of folks think you might need to use a Gmail account. That isn't necessary. If you'd like to use a different account, a school account or something like that, you'll simply click there and then you could put a full email address in there. And that lets you use whichever account you'd like, whether it's at Yahoo, AOL, or as I said, a school-based account. Now remember, once you've created your CS First account, even though this says Google, it's actually going to be the CS First account you use. Once you created that account and with that email address, it will always be married to that email address. You cannot change that email address. You can add a second host address and share that at any time, but just for your knowledge, you cannot change your email address within a CS First account. If you change schools, wanted to use different clubs under a new school, you would simply create a whole new profile account. Okay, so we're here, and let's go ahead and log in, and let's hope I logged in right. There we go. Okay, now then, I've already set up my profile, but assuming I hadn't, it would click here and say start a new club. I'd want to check. I do want email CS First alerts and notifications because it lets me know when things are coming up. But you can choose not to have any email. That's fine. The one thing I want to make sure that I point out to you is you want to make sure you set your time zone correctly, because when you set up clubs, the schedule for your clubs will most likely align with the time zone of your profile, and they need to be one and the same. You can put a photo here so your students know that it's you, anything like that. I've gone ahead and delineated my roles not only as a volunteer but as a teacher host so that I can do both, and everything else after that you can check at any time. Might be interesting for you to do. Okay, let's get started with a new club, and I'm going to add a new location because I've got a new office here. And in doing that, let's just test one out. Say, for example, I wanted to look for my address here, and so if I do Main Street, Venice, CA, let's see, will I find that office? Aha, actually I do. And I've already selected. I forgot that I'd done this. So normally you could say, oh, that's the office I want. Great. That's going to save my location. If I did want to add a new one, could I do this by adding a different school? Let's see. I've got a school very near Westminster Elementary School. Let's see if I see that in Venice. Just out of curiosity, because sometimes you can look. Let's see, there it is. So I could select Westminster if I wanted to, and then once I did that, I would select host and volunteer guru. Okay, so regardless, you could do different ones, but since we've already got something in there, let's go back and just do that test office for myself. So we're going to go back one more time, put in my office, and let's see. Let me search everything. Perfect. That's it. This is the one I want. Yep. Save my locations. Okay, now that start a new club. I'm going to start it right there. And now I get to go and pick a theme. Great. All right, let's click here. And it's going to show me all the different themes. Now then, it's really important to take your time, look and explore materials, see student examples. When you click on explore materials, you'll find lots of different things. You can see the videos that we've created for students for each activity. There it is right there. If we go back, you can check in on those lesson plans. And when you do this, this is actually going to pull you. This is what the club looks like that day. So you can check in every component, see the time allotment we've given for each one. You can look at the goals for that day. This is actually the club plans that are printed and sent to you as well, which is really important because it gives you actually the step-by-step script, if you will, for talking kids through the club the first day. It'll give you a showcase selector, which we'll talk about in a little bit. This agenda timer we've talked about in some of our booths and conferences if you've heard us, but it's another component that allows you to keep the club on task. But let's step back. We can look at materials one more time. See everything that can be downloaded, and as well, these are the things that we print and send to you. So all of these things will come to you. And that's everything from contingency plans, if Wi-Fi goes out, club rosters, certificates, club plans, everything, promotional flyers, passports for students, stickers, solution sheets for teachers. It's all right there. Okay, so let's say we go back and we think, well, I may want storytelling, but I'd really like to look at those other themes. Actually, we'll pop right back here. You can check and see the difficulty level. And that's really important to look at too. While we have 8 or 9 themes, we've now got animation, which is very advanced. You'll want to start with something that's a little easier. So I think we'll choose this theme, and this is the second most important component of setting up the club and profile because it's the only other thing where you cannot change once you've made the selection. It's similar to the email address. Once this theme has been chosen, you cannot change it, especially if you order materials. Okay, so we've chosen music and sound, and now we're going to just hop right in here. And the great thing about this is you can delineate your schedule. So I'm going to say, you know what, I want to start right after the new year, and I'm going to set it up starting on Monday the 11th. I'll do it from 3 in the afternoon. Let's come down here and we'll say 3 o'clock, and I'm going to go to 4. I think my students are going to be able to 4. And it's going to say generate a schedule. Now then, once you've done that, it's going to do it on Mondays and Wednesdays. It defaults to this format. You can make any changes you need to. And once this is set up, even if you decided, oh, I need to move from say Mondays and Wednesdays to just Mondays, you can change those up anytime. But all of this looks good to me. Everything perfect. All of that's in there. Not going to worry about that. Except, you know what? I'd say, oh, wait, this is going to be Martin Luther King holiday. I'm going to change that one date there. You can make any changes like that that you want to. Okay, we're going to save the schedule. And that's done. Now it's going to take me to third step, getting materials. All right, now we do say here, you may not order more than 2 sets of materials at a time without approval. Of course, you can reach out if you've got a full grade level you're trying to get materials for, something like that. 2 sets of materials will get me enough for 60 students. That's 30 students each, and 2 sets of teacher and host plans, and they'll arrive about 1 week before the club starts. Great. Do you want materials shipped? Now, if I said yes and clicked on here, we'd populate all of this information. This auto-populates from the profile I've set up earlier, but if you needed to change that and you said, oh, it's going to be the holidays, I'm actually going to have it shipped to my home address because it'll be Christmas, do that, anything like that. But for now, we'll go ahead and say no, don't ship me materials. And let's move along. Come on, it's thinking, it's thinking. Here we go. All right, now the next thing, you'll want to do your lab checks. You want to make sure that CS First does indeed. Yes, it pops up. We're going to say yes. Do you have access to Scratch? Yes, we do. And that's the second component. And then can you watch this video, which is really important. So let's check it out and find out.
In this screencast, we'll use events to move the player 1 sprite when the arrow keys are pressed.
Perfect. All right. I know everything works, and I know I've got 30 computers that I'm going to have, or laptops, and so I'm going to save my tech list. Awesome. Now then, I'm going to specify my role. Though you've set yourself up as a host in Guru, it could change from time to time. If you're only a host, it's going to say you need to get a Guru, okay? And it's going to ask you that now. You can add it in later, or you can lead it on your own. You can always go back and select that. Do you want to find volunteers for your club? If you say no, well, actually, won't even let you say no here. You're going to definitely have to have them because you haven't selected your option to be a host and a Guru. So you're definitely going to have to default to needing volunteers. In doing that, most of the time, folks want to add in folks they've already recruited, be it a parent, second teacher, other students. So you'll put their email addresses in here. They'll get an email. They'll have to verify and accept, set up a profile, and then you will get a notification that they're waiting to be confirmed, and you'll come back into this dashboard and confirm them. So this is how that starts. It automatically sends them the club schedule you've set up and everything. You can also look for folks in the area that might have volunteered but don't have a particular school that they're looking for. It will reach out to them, see if their schedule works, and they'll introduce you via email. It doesn't automatically sign them up, so you can have a vetting process. So that's really important too. But as I look at this, if I said, you know what, I really think I might want to be the host and the Guru as well, I could go back and set that up. You do have those host logistics and things there, but okay. So you can also say, yes, I'd still like to find a volunteer or two. And if you do that, it's going to take you right back to that window there. But for now, I'll say, you know what, I think I'm done. I can lead this on my own. I understand, yes, I am responsible for finding volunteers if I need them. Okay, our club has been created. We can now view everything. This will we can show this as a promotional video. We can use this to share, use this for school announcements. It's really all very intuitive here. But I want to go back and view my club.
Let's check out your profile dashboard. You can see all your clubs here. And now let's jump right into the club dashboard for our Music and Sound Test Office Club starting in January. Everything is right here that you've already set up. But if you need to edit anything at any time, it's right here for you. Look right here. You've got your current schedule. You can also edit. If you need to order materials, at first we said we didn't want to, but oh gosh, I need to edit that. You'll pop right in here and it'll allow you to edit and order. All right? If you want to go back and check on those, the shipping status of that material order, we've got no, but if it did say yes, it would give us the status of when it's going to ship, ready to ship, the due date. Once it's shipped, we will even put the FedEx tracking number link right in this box here so you can go and check on it anytime to see its progress. Once it's delivered, you'll even be able to see who signed for it. All right, you can always download materials if you need additional ones over that 30 set. We do encourage that once in a while if we have clubs that have 32 students or 36 students, so that can be helpful. Again, you can double check that computer's tech list, your own role, but also adding volunteers. If you had a quick edit to someone who wanted to join, you could do it from this dashboard. Same with a host. If you know you're going to have another teacher, or you're going to, if you're a camp administrator or a school administrator and you're helping clubs set up across a number of schools, this is a great way to add the teacher or the host email in there and just click inviting and it will do all of that right from there. So another great way to edit and add. All right. One thing we want to talk about here is the club code. We have lots of times folks ask, where's the club code? Well, first of all, here's what it is. It's going to direct students to that first day so that they're in your club. New club members will receive a username and password from CS First. They are randomly created and selected, so students unfortunately can't customize They won't use Gmail accounts and they won't use existing Scratch accounts. This is to protect their privacy from the world, and definitely from Google and Scratch as well. And also it's a way for teachers to keep things private so students can share freely when they're sharing their projects. We do provide that club roster so you can write down their names and then add usernames and passwords beside them so you can keep that track from there. All right, we've got materials here. That's really important. It allows you to get ready for each club day. So on day 1, you would look at that day's videos, the club plans, etc. We've got our agenda timer here. That's really important. It will get you set up for that day. If I wanted to start today, I'd click confirm. You'll see behind here, this is the actual agenda timer as it goes off. So that would help you there. We also have the Showcase Selector. The Showcase Selector is so much fun for kids. After day 1, when you start on day 2, you'll create projects, and at the end of the day, the agenda timer will actually remind you to go to the Showcase Selector and select Showcases. Students will share their projects in Scratch, and that will enable them to be ready for a possible Showcase selection. This is randomly selected, and the way you do it is at the end of the club, just click, and it'll give you 3 or more projects. Sometimes it'll give you 5 projects depending on how many students you have in the class. You can always select more students. Students sometimes like to volunteer. It's a great way to share projects anonymously. Students don't need to feel self-conscious. You applaud them afterwards, and you really share all of the great things that are part of the Showcase Selector. All right, student stats. Once those projects are shared and once usernames are created, you'll see a grid here. You'll have each day's activities across here. When you see a check, that means they watched some of the videos. If you see a star for a day under a student's username, that means they watched all of the videos. Their projects will be available there for you to open. A great way to just have everything at your fingertips. So there's your setup. There's your notifications. If you needed to delete a club, you can delete it before the club starts. Once that club date starts and you have a username or you have a username in there from a student, this button will disappear. So teachers, if you want to go in and try the content ahead of time and you try to join the club, this button will go away. So I suggest that maybe you try the content outside of the club, and there's an availability to do that. If you have any questions, check out our FAQs. Join our G+ community. We have lots of teachers and educators there sharing good ideas, so we want to make sure you do that there. That's it. We hope you enjoy, and good luck creating your clubs.